It's Gary Kay. We're here at InfoComm 2014. We're at day -1, the day before the show opens, and we're grabbing people who are willing to talk to us. And one of them is Sean Matthews, the president of VISIX. Hey, Sean.
Hey, how are you, Gary? Appreciate you coming by.
Well, look, I come by because I love this. This is the new MeetingMinder room sign line. A lot nicer. Great design. I know you put some time and work into it, and I know it's one of the big things you're going to be pushing here at the show. I can tell because you got a whole wall of them right here. So first of all, congratulations. Tell me how this came to be.
Well, you know, we've been delivering this type of technology now for about 2 or 3 years, and we just never really could quite hit it exactly, you know, with the lights, power over Ethernet, the mounting techniques, all that stuff. And so we've had a lot of requests for it, and not only this type of technology, but the electronic paper as well.
Yeah, you have e-paper line here.
Yep, so a lot of people have expressed interest in this simply because it's a much more cost-effective way to get information outside of a door, whereas these other devices are a little more expensive.
Is this PoE as well, or is this battery operated?
Yeah, so this is really cool. This is a battery-operated device, uses 3 AAA batteries. In fact, there are no batteries in this unit right now. Once the image is painted, you know, just...
Yeah, it only uses a battery when you're changing the image.
That is correct, yeah.
So those batteries would last for years and years, potentially, depending on how often you're changing the information that's being displayed. And so, but it's still being sent via Wi-Fi, or how's that going?
Yeah, so the transmission medium is an RF transmission technique, and so it you know, it doesn't require any energy consumption, you know, throughout the day, you know, to sit there and listen.
Now, all these are compatible with like Outlook for scheduling purposes, as well as pretty much anybody's scheduling technology?
Yeah, all of the mainstream products that are out there, we support those.
So is this SNMP?
It is, yes. And in fact, all of the most popular things, including Google Calendars, we support. So that's very popular in the higher ed space these days.
So can you actually, do you have the technology to actually schedule and reserve a room from the sign itself, or do you do it online?
Yeah, so you can do it online, but if you walk up and see a room like this that's available, you can book the meeting from the door using either RFID or some Active Directory authentication, either way.
So the price range for these, so for example, when you start with the electronic paper range for an integrator is what, approximately?
Yeah, so the MSRP on these units is anywhere from $250 to $300 in the standard enclosure. When you start adding fancy things like letters and braille and that kind of stuff, it does raise the price. These units go all the way up to $1,800, depending on which configuration.
And you know, this is kind of interesting because it crosses 2 markets. It's digital signage, but also it's sort of workflow. I mean, it's kind of a workflow problem solver. So in addition to using this as a room scheduling and also for telling people what's inside of a room at any given time, these can be digital signage displays. So you can actually use these as the ability to advertise things to people if they're on the outside of all signs, like in a university campus.
Yeah, most definitely. I think you can see here is a good illustration of this one has a predominant digital sign space, whereas this one over here has a much smaller space for digital signage. So this is basically a room booking product first, digital sign second. This is a digital sign first with some room booking skills, you know, wrapped around it.
Right, and of course you can use all the different VISIX suite of products to manage your meeting manager line of products from a creative standpoint as well as a scheduling standpoint, right?
Yeah, most definitely. You can use this stuff either with our product, or in fact, if you have some competing product, you can incorporate RSS feeds from their stuff into our line.
One other thing that I believe you guys are doing now that I think is, we talked to Almo earlier today about this, and I think you guys are also providing content creation services on the creative side, because that's the weakness for the integrators in our industry, is that they're able to provide the gear, but they're not able to provide the creative. How does your service work?
Yeah, so we have 2 basic services. One is truly a pure custom creative service where, you know, we take what it is the customer's looking to do and make it happen visually. But
is that charged per project, or is that charged by the hour, or how's that work?
Yeah, those are usually charged per project. You know, scope of work is set out up front, but we also offer a managed services tool where you basically send us an email message and then magically that pretty image shows up, you know, later in the day. So it's truly a managed creative service, because most people can't afford to have a $60,000 to $80,000 person just dedicated to this type of information. So
the integrators can use that and sell it as a product. They can white label it themselves, and you're actually doing the work behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's correct, because you know, in the integration world, custom creative is much more difficult. It's a little softer sell, but when you productize it and offer it as a service, it's much easier to.
Yeah, no, you do have to productize it in our market. We're not good at selling services yet. I think companies like Cisco and now that the codec is going to be virtual, basically be cloud-based. I think now our industry is going to be forced to get into selling more services, and it'll help everybody. It'll trickle down to everywhere. So that's my opinion, of course. So you can check out all the new products at VISIX.com. Of course, we'll be here shooting individual videos on all the individual products that will be launched here at the show. And you can go to our video search window in the top right-hand corner and type in VISIX, VISIX, and you can see every individual product video we'll shoot. And of course, you can always go to VISIX.com and check out their own website themselves. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Congratulations. It looks like your booth's mostly set up.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go. In fact, we have a booth overview here in a little bit, and we're ready to sell.
All right, good. Well, come on over.